Ah. Hello. I believe we are streaming. Just give it a moment to see if I, echo back at myself, so I can make the proper adjustments. Oh dear. It seems like I'll never get over showing that initial desktop to the audience. I really need to figure out how to fix that. Anyway, we are streaming. We're going to play Celeste again today. A bit slowly. And by slowly I mean we're going to play through it as fast as we possibly can. But something about Celeste is that it has a very robust speedrunning community. So I feel as though no matter how fast I play this game, it will always be slower compared to the very competitive and very talented people who play this game very quickly. So we're just going to do our best. The end goal is to beat my personal record, which is when I was recording the video for Celeste. I believe my personal record was something like 4 hours and 48 minutes. But that was with watching cutscenes and being kind of thorough. So I think we'll be able to do better than that. Or at least I hope we'll be able to do better than that. Yeah. After doing the Dishonored quickly streams, I figured we should do one for Celeste as well, since we did a video on that. We're not going to do the core or the farewell DLC. We're just going to do the main story. Farewell is just really hard, and I just also have other things that I'd like to do today. I'd kind of like to be lazy a little bit on my Friday night and sit around and play games. Other than this one, of course. After playing this game for the first time on the stream, almost a month ago, I think, I was enamored by it, and for some reason that made me want to make a video about it, and that was a little weird because I had pretty much written off making videos for quite some time. I don't know if there's an auto skip dialogue button in this game or not. But we will be skipping through all the dialogue for speed. But it did make me want to make a quick video about it, because even playing the game for the first time on stream, I kind of knew that it had like thematics and ideas that I had wanted to investigate. And so I did. And after that, I was like, it's kind of nice to finish a video again. So I decided to make the Dishonored video. Dishonored as a video was something that I had been kicking around in my head basically since any percent speedrun? Nah, it's just a... Got distracted. It's more of a sort of whatever. I wouldn't call this a speedrun by any metric, because I think that like speedruns of this game are too insane. I think if I try to call this a speedrun, I will get laughed out of whatever room I'm in. So I think it would just be better to say that we're going as fast as we can, and going for a personal best, which won't be hard to beat since it's only, you know, 4 hours 48 minutes. getting distracted by chat. I don't think it'll be a difficult time to beat, all things considered. But I think it would be something good to do since I made a video on it. It'd be nice to come back to it as a sort of conclusion to the whole process. I also just feel like I've vastly improved on this game since I finished recording it. It definitely helps to know the map a lot better. There are going to be parts of this that, oh, this is a bonus room, I don't need to be here. There are going to be definitely parts of this map that I'm less familiar with and are going to take longer. But hopefully it'll go faster. It's very weird to return to making videos after basically writing them off at the beginning of streaming, where I was like, I'm gonna stream now because I don't want to make videos, and now I'm kind of in this weird place where I'm like, what if I did both? Because that's kind of where my mindset's at right now. I'm kind of like, what if I both made videos and streamed, sort of deal. I don't know, after making the Dishonored video, I'm kind of like, maybe I do want to make videos again. It was tough, but I also felt at the end of it, it was a little bit rewarding. I don't know, just to have finally made something, done something, not feel so useless. I'm still very much sitting on my butt, but it feels like something came out of it. You know, like a poop. Anyway. It's when I started making the I've been making videos for like 10 years or something, but like when I started making the video essay type videos, it was basically because a friend suggested I start doing it, because they were like, I like hearing you talk about video games and your opinions on them. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll make some videos talking about my opinions on like certain video games. And then my first one was like a Little Inferno type video, or Little Inferno fight. It was a video on Little Inferno, and it was alright. In retrospect, it was a big deal at the time, but nowadays I think it's, I don't know, it's a little clunky. I feel like it's a little too jokey and it wastes a little too much time. I would have definitely made it shorter if I made it now. But whatchamacall? We had the Nichijou video after that, and it's probably the best one I had, and I believe I made that one both out of an obligation to a show I really liked, and because I made it out of an obligation to a show that I really loved, and also out of an arbitrary deadline. It was like, oh, the 10th anniversary is coming up for the anime. I better make it. That'd be fun. And I did. And I also feel like the show ended up being, the video ended up being kind of a rush job because of that. Like, but it was a good rush job. I'm still really proud of that video. Maybe not completely proud. There's still a lot of like mess ups. I remember in particular there's like a couple too many footnotes in that video. The mic quality is not the best. but I do like it. And I'm glad that, like, for every video that I've made, it feels nice to have at least said something about the game that I'm talking about. Like, for even if I disagree with my opinion later, which often happens, about 2 weeks after the video comes out, I'm like, I can't believe I said that, that's so stupid. But it's nice to have said something, so it's like, I don't have to say something about it later. I don't have to make a video on it later. It's like, well, I already said something about it. It's like, well, I already said something about it. I already made my point known. Like, I had been thinking about making a video on RuneScape for, like, literally a decade. And when I did, even though it came out as, like, a weird, poetic mess, there is still some, like, truth in it. Maybe some truth that's only understandable to me individually. But it's there. And it's out. It's in the world. The opinion has been made. And now I don't have to think about it anymore. I don't have to make that video. It's a weight off, basically. So I don't know. Making videos is hard. It's not always my favorite. Editing sucks. But it is nice to just have the weight off of, like, having an opinion and then sharing it, and then, like, being done with it. Being like, alright, that's one less thing I have to worry about. I had been thinking recently about what to do for a next video, and I was thinking about, like, doing a video on, like, Harvester, this game from the late 90s that is largely known for being very weird. That is kind of about violence in video games, at least in the abstract. But the difficulty would be, I would have to play Harvester. A game that is not very fun. So I'm still mulling over that, and what I should do about it. It's a constant struggle of, like, trying to figure out what exactly would be fun to you, and what you should do with your time. I feel like sometimes it's easy to get wrapped up in, like, oh, this will help my career, quote-unquote, abstractly. Like, this will abstractly help me advance in my artistic pursuits or career or whatever. But you also have to think about, like, well, is this actually fun for me in this moment? Because that's kind of what matters. The future is unknown, and, like, you know, it's kind of the present that ends up becoming most important, you know? So it's one of those things you have to figure out. I can assure you that I am planning to make a new video of some sort at some point. I don't think I've fully given up yet. This isn't like the Metroid Prime stream where I was like, yeah, I don't think I'll ever make a new video again. Because that is what I thought. And then I played Celeste and I was like, well, they got me. I guess I'm playing a new video. I guess I'm making a new video. Like, it's very weird because there is part of me that's like, I don't want to be making videos forever, at least, about other people's art, in a sense. I don't want to be making videos where I just analyze and talk about other people's stories. I want to be writing and creating my own art, my own stories, such and such. I wish I could be more funny. I wish I could say things that were more interesting. And do things that were worth, that would be worth talking about more, I guess. have things worth reacting to, as opposed to reacting to other people's things, I guess, is what I would say. So I guess I don't want to do this forever, ever. I want to eventually become an artist of my own, if that makes sense. But there is sort of a limited capacity where, like, I don't know, I feel old at the ripe old age of 25, but I have limited resources as a fledgling 2-viewership YouTuber. I don't have a lot of experience in the job field, so there's only so much that I can really do, I think. And I think it would be bad to beat up myself for, like, not being able to, I don't know, produce a film by myself or something like that, you know? Yeah, I know, Rika. I'm on my way out the door. Like, it always boggles my mind, like, watching other streamers and hear them be like, "Oh man, I graduated high school today." And it's like, what the fuck? It's like... they're like 18 or something. And they're better known than everybody in my entire lineage. Like, it's wild to think about. They have... It's always wild to see, like, 13-year-olds who play Roblox or something like that, who have, like, 13 million subscribers, and I've just never heard of any of them. It's very weird to think about. I guess that's the world we live in. Wow. I forget how you do this. Oh, I'm overthinking this. I learned online that there's like I learned online by pure coincidence that like this is like a blessing of the YouTube algorithm, that there's a hidden file really deep within like Celeste's audio files or whatever. There's just like a 7-second like rickroll based on like Madeline's voice lines within the game's audio files. I think it's called wowsosecret.wav or something. Also, Rick Astley, kind of a good musician, like unironically. I was listening to some of his music recently. Really good. He's actually very talented as a singer. Like, if you get past his like meme status, unironically good. There are a lot of singers who are like, you know, they start as memes, but if you actually take a good look at like their back catalog, they're very talented. I am a huge fan of Scatman John, unironically. Like, he is such a positive influence. His life story is amazing. He was like a 50-year-old man who did jazz for years and just never got anywhere. I need to go up here. Shoot. He was like addicted to cigarettes and then got off them. And then suddenly in like his 50s, he got a random break doing Europop while scatting. And it's wild. And then like unfortunately he ended up dying of like lung cancer as a result of his lifelong addiction to cigarettes. He ended up collapsing on stage during a performance actually. But he had his shot late in life, and he took it. It's beautiful. You're never too old, I guess. Except for me, who's 25. I'm already too old. I know that Sai is trying to still recover from that viral video and trying to move on from everything else artistically. Yeah, I think that, like, there's definitely like two types of people. Like the people who have like an amazing back catalog besides their one-hit wonders, and then like the people who never fully recover from it. I know that there are like horror stories of the people who write the one novelty song that they hate, and it's like, haha, we wrote this one joke song, and then they end up becoming famous for it, and it's the only thing they ever get asked to play at concerts, and it's like, oh no. This is my life now. This is all I can ever play. This is all I'm ever allowed to play. I hate this now. I know the Don't Worry Be Happy guy really hates that song because he's like, it's a gimmick song that he doesn't like. Apparently he's like a very like soul infused kind of like I don't know how to put it. He's a very a cappella based singer who's like, he's exceptionally talented. He's like really good at creating noises with his mouth. A real, I don't know how to put it, Gerald McBoing type person who like really knows how to make noises with his mouth and hands and stuff like that, and he just is known for this one song that he doesn't actually like very much. I guess it kind of sucks for him. I guess there is like Jack Black, but Jack Black already was like, he was already Tenacious D. Tenacious D has like had songs for years. Also, I think that like Tenacious D was like never especially a serious musician in the first place. Like no disrespect to Mr. Tenacious D, but like I don't think his songs were ever meant to be taken like especially seriously. He was not like a musician that wanted to be taken especially seriously and then was marred by a goofy novelty song. He was always kind of about the goofy novelties. Guys, it's not bad if I say it was ironic. Anyway. Okay. One thing that I genuinely try to avoid when making videos is like, there were a couple of things I noticed when making videos over the years, and it's that there are a couple of things I just generally dislike doing. And one of them is just talking about gameplay in general. I feel like it's like reading a manual. Like, we aren't talking about the work artistically. We're more like reading an instruction manual on like, this is how the game plays, or something like that. And I think it can be interesting to talk about like, in some regards, like, oh, this is how the gameplay functions realistically, or whatever. Like, this is how it feels, or whatever. But at the same time, I'm more interested in talking about like artistic interpretations of narratives and stuff like that, because like, I don't know, I guess I'm more interested in like the story, the narrative. And it's okay if your game doesn't have a complex narrative or whatever. I still very much like games like Donkey Kong and Rayman, and those games do not have complex narratives at all. It's more just like about it's more just that like explaining complex gameplay mechanics is kind of like it's not something I'm super into, because I find that it becomes very technical, and like you have to like describe things like player behavior and like I don't know how to describe the feeling of wanting to make a video essay but also not wanting to do research. That's like my whole mantra. I assume it's also the mantra of a lot of people who make videos on the internet. Like, how do I make this without doing work? Okay, so I need to go find him and talk to him again. He's around here somewhere. The music in this game is very dynamic. The composer did a really great job. Is a real... The way that the characters talk, now that I think about it, have a very Animal Crossing type vibe to it, where they're like... Okay, I think that this is my least favorite level in the game, just because the black fuzzies are the worst. Like, the black fuzzies as a mechanic are just not my favorite. Like... This particular room is easier or harder depending on whether or not you've deleted the towels, because that platform that you can climb on will either be there or not. Speedrunning tip. Where is this guy? Alright. Video looks good on my end, which is good. I've been experimenting with a new encoder because I noticed that the Dishonored video previously had looked kind of choppy. Though I think that might just be a thing with Dishonored, personally. I noticed that like the frame rate with that game is kind of like a little weird at points. I noticed in particular, like, when you shoot the gun in that game, the frame rate just drops. Like, I wonder if that's something to do with, like, the explosion? Or something like that. I don't know. I grew up with low NPCs for most of my life, so it's very weird to play a game with like 60 FPS, even like a low-res game like this, and be like, oh yeah, it's just running as intended. Like, it's super weird. I remember playing Team Fortress 2 at 60 FPS for the first time and being like, what is going on? It's disorienting, honestly. Like, it's you're not used to it. You play worse because you're like, why isn't the game running slower? You get off your groove. Like, I think that frame rates are something you just don't really notice too much when you're a kid. Like, it's something you only really care about when you become a real gamer or something like that. Like, I think about like when I was a kid and played games like Donkey Kong 64 or Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time runs at like a pretty consistent 24 FPS or something like that, like a real bad frame rate. But it's still considered one of the greats, and I think it's just because at that time all games ran bad. Like, or like, games didn't run bad, but they ran pretty bad if they were 3D. Games on the NES ran pretty okay. Sometimes. Sometimes they ran okay. Sometimes they ran badly. It really depended, because like sometimes if there was a lot of stuff on screen, the NES wouldn't handle it, and it would just run bad. But for the N64, pretty much all games ran kind of bad. Like, even Mario at times would just run bad. Like, Mario 64 I remember playing a lot of when I was a kid. I was also like a kid who was one generation behind a lot of the time, so when everybody had the GameCube, I had the N64. So when I was off there playing Mario 64, there was definitely times when Mario 64 would just be laggy, or Ocarina of Time would be laggy. But that's just because that's how 3D games were programmed back at the time. Because, like, 3D games in the early stages were just, like, not super well designed. Because they were still figuring out how 3D even worked back then. I like to refer to that time as sort of like gaming's adolescent stages, because it's kind of like the day and age in where like games are kind of figuring stuff out. They're kind of figuring out what they're going to be when they become an adult. And also because like games have existed for a long time, but I like to think of like gaming as a real concept kind of existing from the 80s onwards. Like, gaming has existed before that, but it didn't really exist in a tangible capacity until about the 1980s, when it became really a console market thing, until, like, consoles existed, basically. Because home computing definitely existed, for sure, but it wasn't a mainstream sort of concept. Like, if you were into gaming in, like, the before times, before the 80s, or like before the release of the NES or something like that, or the Commodore 64, you had to be a mega nerd. Like, you had to like own a home computing system or something like that, and really know how to program and stuff like that. So the 90s were like about 10, 12 years after the 80s. So I kind of consider that gaming's adolescence, as it were, where the late to mid 90s, when 3D was starting to become a thing, is when developers were really starting to get into its weird, awkward, pubescent phase, where it's trying to figure things out. I think I had mentioned this in... I put this in the description that I'm sure nobody read, of the DLC stream, but the first video that I'd ever uploaded to this channel was a stream for the DLC of Dishonored, as a Let's Play. Now, that doesn't matter too much. I think I need to dash up there. Alright. My original channel for YouTube was created in like late 2012, I want to say. And the first video I ever uploaded to that was a playthrough of Dishonored, which got copyright struck for some reason, because copyright striking was really bad back in those days. So I ended up deleting that channel out of fear. My original channel I ended up deleting out of fear of being copyright struck. And I created a new channel, which was this one, where I just uploaded a playthrough of the DLC of Dishonored. And that first episode was one of the first things I ever uploaded to this channel. You can't find it because it's really old, and I'm using like a $10 mic, and it sounds bad, and I'm like 15 and it's terrible. But it was kind of nostalgic to go back and play it again. I don't think I picked up on any of the stuff that I picked up on now back then. Speed run, by the way. In a way, it is both nostalgic and kind of depressing to come full circle. For me, nostalgia is kind of a mixed emotion. It's both nice to like revisit old memories, you know, go back to where you came from, etc., etc., but it's also like, you know, a sort of reminder that you cannot return to where you originally were. You can't be the person you once were. You can't look at the same thing with the same eyes. You can only return to the same place with a different set of eyes, you know? This is sort of the idea that I was trying to convey in my RuneScape video, but just, I don't know if I really got it across accurately. I don't need to be here. So, it was kind of nice to go back to Dishonored again, but there was a bit of sadness knowing that, like, you know, I was effectively just strolling down memory lane again, playing the same game that I had played 10 years ago. Like, wow, my life sure has changed. 10 years ago I was sitting on my ass playing Dishonored for no viewers, and here I am 10 years later, sitting on my ass playing Dishonored for no viewers. Wee, I sure have come far. But I guess it's all about the frame of mind. Yeah, Rika, and I appreciate you being here. I mean, like, it's how it goes. The market for streaming is so vastly oversaturated that you kind of just have to be appreciative for whatever you get. Like, it would be easier to, like, I think, like, the big struggle for me as a person is just trying to figure out how to enjoy doing something without receiving acclaim for it. The ethical struggle for me as like a person who makes things on the internet is trying to figure out whether or not I do things for the attention or whether or not I do something because I think it's important, and how to come to terms with doing something because it's important. Because you know in the back of your mind that your odds of success are about as good as pulling 2 winning lottery tickets and then being struck by lightning, so you kind of have to just do it for the love of the game rather than the odds of winning. So it's kind of about, you know, wanting to see yourself improve, wanting to do better, right? Rather than wanting to see the numbers go up. But there's also like, how do you be a YouTuber and not care about the numbers? How do you do this and not care about who cares about it? How do you be any entertainer and not care about who sees you? Like, how do you be like a person in a theater and not care about if who comes to see your show, right? Like, who becomes an entertainer and is like, I don't want anyone to see me play? Like, you know, who does that, right? It's romantic, but it's also not realistic, I guess. I can't duck under that. I do get the mystery viewers sometimes, and that's very nice. Sometimes I will get a mystery viewer who just kind of lurks in the stream. He doesn't say anything. They don't say anything, but they will be there, and I appreciate them, whoever they are. I mean, I've definitely lurked in a lot of streams in my time, because I understand that, like, a lot of times streaming is a passive experience. Like, it's a lot to expect somebody to just sit down and pay their full attention to somebody who's basically not doing a whole lot more than talking over a game. And I think that's fine. Like, I don't have really high expectations for viewership here, both in terms of like raw numbers, but also like what they get out of it. It's more just like, did you like it? That's cool. I also find that, like, I get really hung up about, like, how do we treat the audience with a certain level of respect? Because I feel like on YouTube, or Twitch, or, you know, just wherever, honestly, there is just a lot of, like, clickbait, or, like, stuff that is very attention-grabby, and is, like, clearly trying to distract you or get your attention for viewership, or, like, trying to get your attention for viewership or for ad revenue or for whatever reason. And I feel like we're not really respecting the audience's intelligence very much by doing that. And I feel like, well, how do we create I don't know, content? How do we create art that is like respecting the audience's intelligence in a way? How do we create thumbnails? How do we create titles that are like not glaringly obvious, not, you know, annoyingly, I guess not like annoyingly blatant with like the fact that like, hey, watch this video, give me engagement, please, I need it for my algorithm. Like, something that feels less, I don't know, I don't want to say fake, because I don't think that's the right word. I don't think calling it fake would be correct, because I think that there's a greater discussion that needs to be had about like what is fake and what is real on the internet. And such a dynamic is kind of like a wrong way to think about it in the first place. But more just like what I think that we can be more respectful to our audience in general in terms of like how we interact with them through our like the way we advertise to them, I guess. I try to keep my stream titles very basic, like, this is the name of the game we're playing, and that's about it. I don't try to make it very, I don't know, clickbaity, I guess, or like try to make it very suggestive, like, oh, come watch me fail at Celeste, or something like that, blah 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 blah. I try to make it very, I don't want to make it sound like I'm more exciting than I am, I guess. I don't fully know how you would do this, and I also fully admit to the fact that I am not a good businessman, and that I am very wrapped up in like very confused ideas as to what exactly is like a good way to treat the audience as a whole. I'd argue that like part of the reason I wanted to make video essay style videos is because I was kind of tired of like video reviews that hinged too much on comedy and didn't actually talk about important things in games. I still think that like a lot of the things I make don't really are so focused on like finishing the video that they don't actually talk about important things. But they they still don't get to the point. But I also think that like, I don't know, I think that sometimes stuff needs to be more meaningful. Not to say that like something that's comedic is devoid of meaning, but like, I don't know, I feel like the audience deserves more respect, and we oftentimes don't treat them with respect. because we're trying to like claw engagement out of them or something. Like, if any of that all makes sense. Like, I just don't want to like... I want to make content that's like engaging to people, that makes them feel something, that makes them... changes their life even. But I also don't want to make them feel like they've been manipulated or like they've been cheated or something. Because that's not my intent. Like, and I know that doing that kind of stuff may be better for viewership, but I think if anything, I need to learn that like viewership is not what I need right now. I think I need to get better. I think I need to learn to make better... I think I need to make better stuff, and hopefully that will bring in more people. And maybe it won't. I've seen plenty of people who make really amazing things and never get anywhere. But if that's what it means, then that's what it means. If I die in irrelevancy because I don't know, took the high road, then I guess I took the high road and died in irrelevancy. Because I don't know. I don't want to like imply that I'm taking the moral high ground or whatever, even though I 100% just did. But like, I don't know. I think we can do better. I think that it's possible to do better in terms of like making art and making like stuff on the internet. And I think that's like worth fighting for. Maybe not worth fighting for, but like worth going for. And if that means like I don't get the viewership I want, then I guess that's how it is. Like, and I think I need to actually be willing to stand up for those principles and not be like, well, I should just shoot. I should just like, I don't know. I think it would be hypocritical of me to be like, I'm gonna start doing so and so for more viewership to I don't know. It very much feels like I'm going down a path where I'm like trying to validate me acting in a particular way. Like, it feels like this conversation is more about me trying to convince myself more than somebody else. Like, it sometimes feels like... I don't know. I don't really think that there's a high art or a low art. Really. I feel like that's kind of a wrong-headed way of looking at things. Art is just whatever means something to you. Like, so, I think ultimately the high art argument comes from people who put a lot of effort and thought and love into something and then are disappointed when it doesn't catch on. And so they go to the thing that's very popular and they say, well, that's not very good. It's popular because it's base. It's low class. It's amoral, you know? And I feel like sometimes I definitely, like, I may have been projecting that just now. Like I may have been saying, oh, this thing is, it uses particular thumbnail tactics, so maybe it's bad, or something like that. But I don't know. I definitely think that, like, there are some thumbnail and title tactics that are manipulative and I don't like, and I don't want to use them. But at the same time, I don't want to imply that, like, certain types of content are inherently bad or something like that. But the one thing I do want to remain consistent on is, like, the idea that I don't want the viewer to feel like they've been manipulated, that they've been cheated or clickbaited or something like that when watching my stuff. I just kind of... I'm very, as a person, kind of disillusioned by the internet after being on it for so long, and I'm kind of like searching for something that's more like... I hate to sound like a 50-year-old housewife who's recently divorced, but I'm looking for something genuine. It's like, you know, to me what's way more important than like something that's funny or memeable or exciting is just like something that feels kind of real or something that I care about. It's much more about like whether or not I care about the content. Oh shoot, I gotta do some stuff with this. Okay. I definitely think that like sometimes I will go on like a not unhinged rant, but like I will sometimes I'll say things and they will be very stream of consciousness, like thoughts will come out like not fully formed, or like I feel like this is kind of the inherent difficulty of streaming and why I kind of give streamers a lot of benefit of the doubt. Or at least some of them, the benefit of the doubt. I think it's like... I think it's very easy to get like angry at Let's Players and stuff like that because, oh, they miss... Something I learned when streaming was like... Streaming for the first couple of times was like... It's very easy to get angry at streamers for being like, how could they miss that? It was so easy, it was right there, but it's like, you lose so much concentration doing this. Your stream of consciousness is so borked. Like, ah, shoot. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I hope I didn't say anything that was like particularly offensive or wrong or weird. Like, sometimes I think I have like very volatile opinions, but I think that also like I feel like sometimes my opinions are incredibly milquetoast. Like, I guess to be more conclusive about it, what I'm generally against is like particular thumbnail and like title types rather than particular types of content. I'm generally against like misleading or clickbaity type thumbnails, and I want to avoid that if possible. Oh, I need to get the key. Come on now. I also think that a lot of my experiences have come from being under the shadow of Max. Like, it needs to be remarked that a lot of my experiences come from being like... I have been the second banana to Maxor, the YouTuber, for quite some time. Like, he and I are old friends, but it needs to be remarked that when one of us becomes famous and the other one becomes clinically depressed, that kind of thing leads to bitterness and resentment into, you know, it leads to something. It's, you feel bitter about it, I guess. it's hard not to. And that influences the way that you think about the online space. Shoot. Okay. I don't know. I think this is one of my favorite designed levels, but mechanically it's kind of tricky. Like, I really love the sunrise. And the music here is really cool, but having to fight against the wind is not always fun. Okay. Also, I should point out I'm like absurdly far from my keyboard right now, so my arms are really stretched out. Also, it's getting really hot out recently, so it's pretty hot in my room right now. I like this part in particular though because you get to ride the wind. Okay, so I'm a bit frightened about the mirror dungeon, simply because I don't remember it super well, and it's also a little bit dark. It's also, like, very weird to talk about, like, the creation of content when I, as a person, just don't create it a lot. Like, it's sort of like, oh, I have so many opinions about, like, art and the creation of art when you don't actually make it a lot. It feels like you make one fucking video and suddenly you're an expert. Like, yeah. The mantra of my YouTube channel as a whole has been, like, identity crisis, where, like, I've been experimenting with a bunch of different things over the years and seeing what sticks, and none of it really has. For a lot of it, it's sort of like, oh, at first it was kind of like Let's Plays, then it was kind of like gameplay highlights, then it was kind of like, we're gonna try with some skit-based videos, and then we're gonna try with some other things. None of it really worked out, and it was all me trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it, and I never quite figured out what it was supposed to be about. And I still don't fully know. A lack of consistency really hurts YouTube channels. But another thing that really hurts YouTube channels is just not uploading a lot. And that was also another thing I just didn't do. Possibly because I didn't want to. And that really gave me the idea of, like, maybe if I just didn't upload a lot, maybe that's emblematic of the fact that I didn't want to upload. I didn't actually want to do it. Which again leads to the ethical question of, like, what am I doing it for? Am I doing it because I care about it, or is it because I want the attention? It's a question I grapple with a lot. Is there a way to speedrun the feather minigame, do you think? I don't know. I think, like, maybe I could have been somewhere if I had actually chosen to stick with something and kept doing it. But I don't know. Because even when I had begun doing Let's Plays back in 2013, Let's Plays as a genre were kind of dying out a little bit and being usurped by streaming. So it's entirely possible I could have still just crashed and burned. Very likely, actually. Because even back then, Let's Plays were incredibly oversaturated as a market. In many regards, it's a form of gambling with less stakes. Like, you are gambling on the idea that something you do will pick up. In the hopes that one day you'll be able to do this for a living, or because you'll get famous one day or something like that, and I don't know if that's the best bet to make. Right, we need the key. The key is like down here, I think. A lot of optional things in this room, I believe. Can't do that. That's not it. I believe it's actually so I don't actually need that. So there's a key I need to get. Where is it though? I am the dumb of ass. Alright. Okie doke. I think there are actually 2 keys in that area, and if you get them both, you can unlock a... I think you unlock the tape? I want to say that's what happens. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been almost a month since I recorded for that. Which is wild to think of. It's wild to think that, like, I released 2 videos in like a month, but also that it's been a month. I don't know what the average rate for like releasing a video is, because my videos don't... I feel like I should be releasing videos faster, because they're not complicated, they're not hard to make, per se. They're basically a bunch of cuts. They are barbershop edits, just mostly cuts, but at the same time... Alright, this is the part that's going to annoy me, because I don't know where to go, and it's a lot of dark areas. Okay, I think this is where I need to go. But at the same time, it's very much a sort of when I get an idea for something. That was also kind of the problem with making videos back in the day. It was just whenever I got an idea for something, and many times I just didn't have any ideas. We can't all be content mills, I guess. Okay, let's see. I need a key. I need to find a key in here somewhere. I believe this is the thing that leads to the mirror room? No. No, those both lead to strawberries, and those... Yeah, I think I know where that goes now. Okay. The Mirror Temple is definitely the area that I have the least experience with. Not because I haven't been here that often, it's just that it's dark and I don't have the actual map layout memorized. Because unlike the rest of the game, I can't see it. Alright, well, at least dying saves where you put the lamps. Here we go. That wasn't so hard. Oh, that's bad. All right. I should have seen that coming. One thing I do appreciate a lot about Celeste is the idea that the mechanics itself are very simple. You just have the dash and the jump and the climb. 3 basic ideas, but they coalesce together into a very fun and compact game. Yeah, I believe this is where you can take the second key down to open the tape or whatever. Either that or the hearts down there. You can collect the tapes and the hearts for bonus stuff. We fear what's in the mirror because it reflects back onto ourselves. Okay, Demon King speedrun, let's go. Our only objective is to kill Madeline, so... A lot of those walls are actually unnecessary. Very funny. I didn't mention this in the video because it was too stupid, but apparently Evil Madeline's canonical name is Badeline, and that's fucking stupid. So I didn't bring it up. I mean, it's stupid in a funny way. Like, it's cute, but I didn't want to call her that in the video because I thought it would be totally inappropriate. Like, I thought the merit of the video would be kind of undermined by calling her Badeline over and over. It would be like if I was talking about Sonic the Hedgehog and I constantly refer to him as Ogilvy. It's like, what the... I didn't want to do that. Okay, I forgot that happens. And then we gotta jump around, and then... That's right. Okay. And then your demons start chasing you. Very bold. Very cool that we've managed to keep the strawberries in single digits so far. Okay, doing alright. I have no idea how I managed to duck under that. Feels like I was really abusing the hitbox there. Hey man, I was gonna jump on that. Alright. Okay. Okay, here comes the kind of maze-like part. And which means there's like a maze-like part here. I believe we have to open up some gates so we can... Yeah, so there's this area right here. We have to open up some gates. They're locked with locks. And we need to do that so that way we can launch ourselves with this in order to get to, I believe, Leo, who is trapped up there someplace. Who, canonically, we have not met yet. Or wait, no. I guess we did on the, I guess we did meet him on the gondola? Yeah, on the gondola. But before that, we ignored him both times, so I guess, you know, it's almost like we didn't meet him. Come on, man. Alright. 1, and 2, and 3. There's gotta be a key around here someplace. Oh, it's probably up here someplace. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one key. Alright. Let me just follow this pathway and there should be... Yep, alright. I think if we go back, we should be able to find the other pathway to the other key. At least I hope so. Well, that's a shame. Didn't I just come from here? Did the pathway close off? Can I not go back? This might be the pathway to... This may be indeed the pathway I meant to go down. This seems right. This is the funny pathway where you have to abuse the demon AI. Yep, this is the right way. Alright. Fuck. Well, even though I didn't know where I was going, I was able to find my way. It's like hiking on a trail. If you keep going straight enough, you'll find it. They all loop back around eventually. If you walk straight enough, you'll eventually loop back around to where you started. Ah, shoot. Alright. Yeah, it does spawn me up here. That's good. I beg your pardon. Hello. How's it going? We're on, like... We're fairly far into the game right now. I don't know how long we've been going. It's going pretty well, all things considered. You haven't died too much. Not that that really matters. This is kind of a very casual speedrun-ish. All speedruns of Celeste are really good. The speedrunning community of this game is insane, so this is an extremely casual, sort of just going through the game as fast as possible kind of thing. We are basically trying to beat 4 hours and 48 minutes. I don't think it'll be super hard to beat, but that's my best time currently. I need to get up there. Okay. He missed? Really? Alright. That's fine. Do better. How frustrating. Well, now that I've said I have a time limit, I guess we aren't going to beat it now. There we go. Okay. Now crystal section. This section's okay. A bit of a mix-up and a bit of challenge, but not tremendously awful. Okie doke. So we got to avoid these people. So this is it. Was there a switch somewhere here I need to press? Oh, there sure was. Alright. Remember playing this game through Xbox Cloud in school Wi-Fi. Yeah, I don't know if you would want to play this game on Wi-Fi through... Like... This game kind of requires you to have, like, some decent reaction time. I don't know if you would want to play that on something that would, like, necessitate you on, like, Wi-Fi. Or, like, something that would require a half-decent Wi-Fi connection. It's a good game, for sure, but at the same time, I don't know if you would want to play it on a Wi-Fi connection. It's much better to play it on a game when you don't need the internet. Touch controls? Goodness, no. Just get it for like your Switch or something. Get it for like a Switch or your PC or something like that. Like, I don't know. I imagine this game would be pretty good for a handheld, I think. Or like... Yeah, if they have it on Game Pass, that'd be pretty good. I don't use Game Pass because I'm a nerd, and I also play like 5 games, so I don't have a need for it. Like, I can tell you straight up, after... I find that my Switch is really useful for, like, well, for one thing, the exclusives, but also, like, for really casual games, if you want to take them out on the road. When I was in community college, I played a ton of, like, Puyo Puyo Tetris on... When I was in community college, I played a ton of Switch, simply because it was a place where I could play a lot of quick handheld puzzle games in between classes and on the bus on the way home. Okay. Oh, I shouldn't have counted. Oh, caught him. Leave me alone. Alright. Okay. We're home free. I've heard Hollow Knight is pretty good. It's one of these, like, as I get older, it's one of these things where it's like I've become like really hesitant to get into big long games because I'm afraid I'm not gonna have time to get into them, or like I won't like be able to get in as invested into them as I want to. Like, I know that one of these days Bethesda's gonna release Elder Scrolls 6, or there's gonna be some big game that I'm gonna be like, I can't wait to play this, or something like that. And I'm gonna play it and it's like, I don't have time for this. I have like a job, or like other things to do. There are even like videos where I'm like, I'm gonna make a video on so-and-so game. Sometimes it'll be like, there's a video I want to make on so-and-so game, but that game is just so fucking long. It's like... Alright, now I gotta try and find the dialogue that lets me skip the most of this the fastest. There is a way to get to the I need to sleep dialogue, which will let me skip most of it, but I still think I have to go through a lot of it. I mean... I think it's better that a game gets delayed than it does, I should get some sleep, there we go. I don't know, I think it's better that a game gets delayed than it does get released broken, which is kind of the meta these days, because companies know that they can just release a game broken and then patch it later. I haven't really been super excited for a game to come out in a long time. So, I don't know. Like I said, I play like 5 games. So, we're gonna... I don't know. Maybe one day there'll be a game that comes out where it'll be like, I'm really excited for this to come out or something like that. I think the last game that I was excited to come out for was like Advanced Wars Reboot Camp. And I played a little bit of it on stream. And then I got clinical depression, so that ended that. It was like, alright. I mean, Reboot Camp wasn't even bad. It was a good game. I just kind of like fell out of it, I think. Like, well, it just feels like a lot of times there's just so much stuff coming out. Like, it's difficult to choose, like, what you spend your time on, and, like, what is worth your time. What, a lot of stuff comes out, and you kind of have to choose, like, what you want to spend your time on, what you want to watch. I get major time anxiety, honestly, about stuff like that. I try not to think about it too much. For me, I just kind of hope that the stuff I play leads to a meaningful or fun experience. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it's whatever, but sometimes you just forget about it the next day. But yeah. I would agree, it depends on the game. Okay, so now that we're here, we have 2 levels to go. Two levels to go, but the last 2 are doozy. Well, more like 2.5, because like the well, yeah, like 2.5, because we have this level, and then we have like the boss fight, which is kind of a level unto itself. All right, well, that's my own damn fault. Yeah, sometimes it feels like, when you're playing just a casual game or something like that in your spare time, you feel like, oh, I could be playing something else right now. I could be playing a new game that I haven't tried before or something like that. Or I could be doing something more productive, quote-unquote. But, I don't know. I feel like it's way more about, like, what you find fun personally in that moment. Because if you're like, if you force yourself to play a lot of new games all the time, you're never gonna be able to like fully enjoy the games that you do have, I think. I don't think we can fully depend on like the novelty of a game to carry it forever. I think there's like a reason why game critics and like general audiences have like different opinions on games. It's because like critics have to play every game, whereas like a general audience member will maybe only has a couple games, or like a critic has to play every game, has seen every game, and like has a different view, whereas like a general audience member maybe only has a couple games, has spent more time with a particular game, understands it better, etc., etc., and therefore their opinion is different. So I don't know. There are some games that I've literally spent like thousands of hours on, and some that I haven't touched. Like, whoops. Alright, oh, I need to actually get on the other side. Got it. It's me slowly relearning everything I learned from the previous game. I remember most of it, for what it's worth. Just like... Oh, I hit the wrong side. Cool. Alright. There we go. Alright. It is, like, fascinating to see the amount of time that you spend playing a particular game. And, like, what that says about you. Like, I have over 2,000 hours in Team Fortress 2, and that's mostly emblematic of the fact that during a particular moment in my life, I just played a stupid amount of TF2. I played a tremendous amount of Dota 2, and I don't even like Dota 2 very much. And the reason why that is because Dota 2 is it was the friend group game. It was the game that our friend group played. When the friends wanted to play a game together, we all played Dota 2. That's what we did. So, rather than like trying to decide what game should we play, we just played Dota 2. That's usually what happened. Like, sometimes we played other games, but most of the time we just play Dota 2. So I have like a good over 2,000 hours in Dota 2. And there's some games that are just kind of biased towards more hours. I have like a good over 1,000 hours in like Civ 6, but that's just because Civ 6 is a game that is super long. Even playing short games of that still takes you several hours to complete. It really makes me think, kind of almost tragically, like, oh, I've spent a lot of my life playing video games. It's something I don't like to think about, honestly. It's like, you know, I don't like to think about how much time I've actually spent playing this game, because it makes me think I could have been doing something a lot more productive. Like, I don't know, I could have been donating to charity in this time or something. That's the funny thing about Fortnite, right? Like, I have found personally that Fortnite has become the keep the wife and kids together game. Like my friend group, I have seen multiple friend groups who have sworn to themselves, we will never play Fortnite. Fortnite is a bad game. It has a monetization system we disagree with. We're not gonna play Fortnite. Fortnite is for children. We will never play Fortnite. And then they won't have a game to play. They'll be like, well, what do? We don't have a game that we can play anymore. The games that we like are bad now, or they're dead. They don't have any more players. What do we do? What do we do now? I guess we'll play Fortnite. It's like, because like it's very much a sort of, we need to play this game, not because we like it, but because we want to keep the family together, sort of deal. I've seen it happen multiple times. It's funny every time. And at this point, I'm honestly considering doing it myself. One of my friends was like, hey, do you want to play Fortnite with me? And I was like, honestly, a little bit. This is like, I'm morbidly curious. I don't like Fortnite's monetization model. It's honestly a little evil, but I am like so... I just want to play games with him, so I don't know what to do. How did I do this originally? Like... Oh, I'm such a fucking moron. Like... Fortnite being the most generous monetization models is like... I don't know if that's correct. I don't play a lot of, what the kids would call battle royales. So I wouldn't be able to tell you if that's correct or not. That might be true, but I'm gonna need, like, a citation on that. Like... Thump. Okay. Don't know what I was thinking. Alright. I don't know. I guess somebody's gotta pay for all those copyright lawsuits. Like, I don't know how you create something like Fortnite where, like, you just have every copyrighted character in the world and not, like, have to pay $40 million or something. $40 bajillion. I guess that's gotta get paid for somehow. Like, how on earth? Alright. I'm going about this all wrong, aren't I? I imagine I am. There we go. We are two birds of a feather. Okay, so here's the boss fight section. The boss fight section is varying levels of hard and easy. Oh, I remembered, in my Celeste video, I accidentally had set it for like 30 frames rather than 60 FPS. Not that anyone cares, but I realized that the reason why that happened was just because I had set the fucking preview in my video to 30 FPS, and the video thought it was at 30 FPS. It was an easy fix. I'd go back and fix it myself, if I still have the file. Damn, Madeline, you got lungs. Alright. So here's the boss fight proper. Once again, it's always interesting to see how, like, video games program in boss fights for games that are not designed to have boss fights in them. They always have to get weird and creative with them, or else you end up with a kind of busted system. I know that, like... Yeah, the issue with a game that's kind of short is that, like, either games that are kind of short or, like, games that have very distinct level sections is that, they're very easy to identify. Cool that you watched the video, though. Evil Tuplify. Yeah, pretty much, honestly. Like, this is pretty much what Max goes through every time I tell him that he sucks. I don't know if you know this, but I am actually Max's Evil Tupla. It's okay. We have a very generous time to beat. We have a very generous time to beat of 4 hours and 48 minutes. To remind everybody, that is the fastest I beat this game before, and that was when I was recording for the video. That was the cutscene only run, where my only goal was to get as much cutscene footage as possible. And we're trying to beat that score. So, I think we should be able to beat that. Stream's only been going 2 hours? Yeah, so we should be able to beat it. Easy. As the game progresses, I just, like, because I have less experience with the end of the game, I, like, do worse. Also, just because the end of the game is harder. I think I'm beginning to see the issue here, where, like, I want to hit, Madeline immediately after she fires her laser. But she fires her, like, death ball immediately after firing her laser. And the reason why that doesn't work is because I'm expecting, like, oh, I'll be able to abuse the hitbox. And I can't. Like... laser. Like that. Like, she does a death ball immediately after the laser, and if I jump into her immediately after doing that, I'll get hit by the ball unless I do it really quickly. Yeah, my friends like the Nier Automata games. I don't know anything about them other than that there's like a lot of upskirt shots, and I don't know if that's a great introduction to the series. I know that it has a very auteur director sort of deal. I've been thinking about new ideas to do on. My most recent idea would be to do a video on Harvester, but the problem with that would be I would have to play Harvester, and I'm not super interested in playing Harvester. Like, Harvester is an interesting game, but it is far more interesting than it is good. Like, as a game it's interesting to think and talk about, but as a game it is not fun to play. So I would not be looking forward to play it and record it. I also think that I would like... It's just old, so it would be very much a game where I would basically not even really be playing it. It would be me looking at a walkthrough for 5 hours. Very fun. I've been very fortunate to largely cover games that have been good so far. And, I don't know. I don't know if I'm mentally prepared yet. I mean, I'll keep it in mind. Like, I am interested in games that kind of don't initially present themselves as anything especially complex, but have, like, interesting ideas. Because I think, like, it's very easy to be like, oh, do a video on Fallout New Vegas or whatever, but, like, games like Fallout New Vegas obviously have, present ideas, themes, satire, whatever. You know, they're very obviously about things. They kind of show their hands immediately. I'm kind of more interested in games that, like, I think even with, like, Celeste, the issue I had with making a video about it was that Celeste is kind of upfront with what it's about, and because of that, it almost feels kind of bad doing a video about it. Like, I feel like it would be better to talk about, games and videos that don't initially seem like they're about anything, but have meaning to them. Because that's kind of what media literacy is about, like, finding meaning in stuff that doesn't initially seem like it has any. It's like interpreting what something means, you know? So, I mean, I'll think about it, but it's kind of, for me, it's always about, like, the headspace of where I'm at. Um... I thought I was going to get more momentum on that jump. More momentum. This jump's tricky because she's gonna throw balls at me, and I have to... I don't know, I think revisiting games is typically pretty good, if you think that there might be something you missed when you were younger, or something like that. In filming the Dishonored video, for instance, I thought that the video was going to go one way, and it ended up going in a completely different direction. Like, I thought I had the script planned out in the beginning, before I'd even played the game, and I really didn't, because the game ended up presenting itself differently than I thought it would. Because the way that I had remembered it was not congruent with the way that I had initially seen it. Or not with the way I had initially seen it, but the way that I ended up seeing it later. Okay, so that's the fight. Which means we've got a little bit left of this level and then the last one in the main story, and then we should be good. I've been playing both Dishonored and Celeste quickly recently, and I've been honestly wondering if I should just play Peggle Knights quickly tomorrow. Like, it's weird, it's a weird idea, but like, I'm kind of wondering if like, because there's no real way you adequately speedrun that game, because it's so random, but I kind of just want to play Peggle again. Peggle is such a nice turn your brain off game. And I kind of just want to play it through quickly once again. It's generally just really nice to not have to think about, like, what you are going to stream the next day, or, like, the next other day, or whatever. Okay. Final stretch, last level. For the main story, at least. And that's all we're gonna do anyway. So... and... that'll be that. There have been vast strides made since the initial 8-hour stream of this game. But in some regards, there has been no improvement. You can't win them all, I guess. Okay, I think my brain is entering like a shutdown mode, where it's like, alright, the game is over. It's time to stop working. We have defeated the Tupla. It's time to cease functionality. Me. There we go. How did that not kill me? Alright, whatever. It killed me eventually, so I guess it doesn't matter. What doesn't kill you does eventually. I mean, those are words to die by, honestly. If it doesn't kill you now, it'll come back later. Keep your friends close and your enemies inside you. Wait. Alright, so you... Alley... Oh. Okay. Well now. Can they really be called enemies at this point? You know, to be honest, this game has a lack of enemies, to be square. The only real enemies in this game are like the black fuzzies, and they're not really enemies so much as they are like expanded obstacles. Like, oh, that's a bonus for a minute. Unless this is the way we're supposed to go. This might be the way we're supposed to go, actually. It's kind of notable in that regard, and where most of the obstacles in this game are just platforms. Because a lot of what kills you in platformers doesn't have anything to do with enemies in general. Even in games like Donkey Kong or Mario, it's usually not like Koopas that kill you. It's the jumps, or Koopas being in the way of jumps, or blocking you from jumps or something like that. Okay, fine. We'll play by your rules, old man. Okie doke. You ever do that thing where you preemptively start moving in a direction because you assume you've already made the jump? It happens to me all the time. I still don't very much care for the black fuzzies. This whole section I don't think has a checkpoint, so we gotta be careful here. I remember this part being kind of tricky. A speedrunner regardless. Why did I jump back? Alright. Okay, now Mr. Oshiro's gonna be on his shit, so we gotta be feisty. Okay. Black fuzzies are the bane of my existence. Alright. Okay. Oh, this is becoming a problem. My shoulders are starting to hurt. Okay. That's one section I don't have to deal with ever again. Alright. Alright. One, two. 2 and 1, 2 buckle shoe.
Okay, so those need to be 2 straight shots, or else I won't make it. Got it. Okay. It's doable. Ooh, I am definitely feeling the pressure. The streamer pressure. The streamer pressure where it's like, you gotta say something. You've gone a whole 5 seconds without opening your gob. Say something right now. Say something. Say something, you freak. One must wonder why they even put an elevator here if we're just going to forcibly have to climb up the mountain this way. Oh, right. Okay. Brain was kind of turned off, but I think I get it now. It doesn't mean I can execute it, but I do get it. There we go. We're not going that way.
Almost got it. Oh! You know, why even work out your shoulders when you can just stream? I need to go up. Drop down and then to the left, to the right. I'm 25. I know my rights from my lefts. I understand the political spectrum. Okie doke. I think it's one more section to go before the mountain prior. Mountain prior. I mean, mountain proper. Am I not gripping it properly? Whatever, that wasn't the actual solution, so... There are 2 orbs here. One of them is optional. Left, up, left, and left, and yeah, okay. Oh, I needed, okay. I see what you gotta do. Up, then you jump across here. Like that, okay. Ping
fling yourself. Ugh. That was bad. I forgot that you had to let go of the jump button. Or not let go of the jump button, you had to stop dashing in order to let that platform appear. That's an unfortunate place to end up. Are you kidding me right now? Indeed, it's the home stretch. Okay, 30 markers. I believe you actually skipped some, but whatever. There's a room you can go into there, and if you've unlocked certain things, you can unlock the heart or whatever. We're not going to do that, because we didn't do that. Also, at this very end point of the game, they introduce a new mechanic where it's raining hard, so you have less upward momentum. Interesting. That's my bad. I didn't know where I was going and I panicked. Okay, so up, left. I keep saying left, but it's the right. Now we actually have lower gravity, and that's neat. Almost. I gotta time that last jump a little bit better. Oh, there we go. Alright. Okay. So I believe it's jump across here, grab this back edge, jump across here, grab this back edge, across here, grab this back edge, jump, 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 like that. I should have forward dashed. Alright, that's fine. Up. Left. Left. Nope. Keep saying left. My sense of direction is bad. 0 out of 10. Okie doke. Oh, I believe you're not supposed to take that second jump, because you needed to get over that last hurdle. Yep. Always a mixture of puzzle solving and platforming in this game. I shouldn't have been hanging from there. Ooh, this is the really home stretch now. Yeah, I need a second jump to get over that ledge. Oh, I had it. I got on the ledge and then I died. Number 2. Giggity. Yeesh! And that's that. I'll have to check the OBS and VOD to see how long that was. Honestly, if it's anything under 4 hours, then it'll have been better. I'm very curious to see how wretched this strawberry pie is going to be after collecting like 5 of them throughout the entire game. Well, that's that. It was done quickly. Skip. Oh, right. Enter doesn't actually enter anything. The enter button is weirdly C. Around 2 hours 44 minutes if you started playing not soon after starting the stream. That's not bad. I guess we'll find out. It gives you a timer at the end of this cutscene. I started I did a little bit of rambling at the beginning of the stream, so we'll find out. Oh, don't get your hopes up. We have about 1 strawberry. It's going to be just the pie tin. We got 3. That's a good number. And that's the face of somebody who's proud of her accomplishments. 2 minutes, 38, or 2 hours, 38 minutes. Not bad. Not bad for somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, I'd say.
Okay. Well, great. I almost had a intellectual talk today. We played the game reasonably fast, and we disappointed our house guests. Or rather, Grandma's house guests. Yeah, so I don't have anything else today. I might stream Peggle Fast tomorrow. Or I might try Katamari at some point. I'm still very much in a figuring it out kind of mood. I appreciate everybody who came out to watch today. In the meantime, I'll see you all later. I don't have any really exuberant outros or anything. Yeah, I'll see you.